is your hand placed in your body? How are your feet firmly rooted to the ground? You have touched upon all the five senses. Now take some gentle breaths. Inhale deeply and exhale, and come back to your senses whenever you are ready. Thank you, audience, for beautifully doing it with me. I feel honored that it is not just my students, even a couple of you have joined in this exercise. I really feel grateful. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is some pranayama practices that I do. It is one is segment breathing, where either it is belly breathing. You ask the children to focus on your belly, place one hand in their heart and one hand in their belly, and just inhale. So when you inhale, your belly goes out, and when you exhale, the belly goes in. Okay, maybe we can try it one time. Inhale, belly is out. Exhale, belly moves in. Feel as if your stomach is touching the spinal cord. You can do it a couple of times, inhaling and exhaling through your belly. And of course, there is Bhastrika Pranayam and Brahmari Pranayam. Bhastrika literally awakens, brings in new energy. And in case of Brahmari, it literally heals your thoughts, heals your body. And children really feel fresh before they start their lessons. Now finally, the last slide. May I have the last slide, please? That is affirmation. Can you try whether this works? At least one, if it works, I'm really happy.
No. No.
Okay. So at the end of the day, before we end the session, I ask the children to go for some affirmations. So these affirmations are like this. Maybe we can try all of us together. Probably you would have never done this before. And it's a good practice. You will feel good at the end of the day. Keep one hand in your heart and one hand in your belly. And just repeat aloud without feeling ashamed, guilt, or inhibited by the presence of the other person. Love myself. Can we all say it loud? I love myself. I approve all of myself. I value myself. I cherish myself. I am enough. I love myself. I approve all of myself. I value myself. I cherish myself. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I did have a couple more of practices, but due to lack of time, I want to wind up here with a quote from Dalai Lama. He says, "We have enough scientists, we have enough engineers, we have enough doctors, and we have enough professionals, but we want more healers. The people who can light up others' lives with their being, with their presence, with their thoughts, with their actions. Let's all be that person who make a difference to ourselves and to the world." Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Remya. It was really wonderful presentation coming from the practice, direct practice, and when we hear so many theories, we read so many theories about mental health and well-being. The practice is, little different. The practice part makes difference, and that is what Ms. Remya had just showed to us. See, one thing what I could uh, like most is the gratitude journal, the gratitude mm, practice of gratitude, giving gratitude to others, and it's all about how you bring positive things to your mind and to your subconscious mind, and from there you are guided every time. And then there are some practices, some pranayam, some body relaxation exercises, mind relaxation exercises she showed and she talked about. Finally, the affirmation. I think it was great. It was great. And mm, this is what can bring a difference. And if it comes from the beginning, uh, from early childhood, from the school days, I think throughout the life one can relish happiness, the good mental health. And rightly, she mentioned Dalai Lama ji, His Holiness. Great, great. So thank you very much, Ms. Revia, for your wonderful deliberation and some tips, practices shown to us. We followed you, and we are grateful to you for your sharing. So in this session, we had three speakers, and this session was all about the social and cultural well-being of teachers and children. Uh, and when we are in a diverse India, a country like India, very diverse. So no class is homogeneous. It's always heterogeneous. And I think the teacher is the biggest healer, as many speakers they have also mentioned. Students coming from different groups in the school, in the classroom, sitting in the classroom, and our mindset. If they are coming from different ethnic groups, say different class, different caste, different religion, and if our mindset is not positive, if we undermine them or we segregate them or we discriminate them, I think there starts the bad mental health, and we are starting spoiling the mental health of such groups in the classroom. So this social and cultural perspective, we have to understand that no group is worth disliking, or no group is worth undermining, that this group is like this caste is like this ethnicity is like this, they cannot study, they are far behind, they are backward, they are lagging behind. We have no right to say. So this is related to the mental health. This is related to the mental health of the teachers, because teachers also coming from the same society, same cultural group, and students also they come from different cultural and social groups in the classroom and the school. So our attitude towards such groups we have to understand. And then, as we all know that the contextualization is very important. The contextualization of the content, the contextualization of the pedagogical practices, that is very important. Each child we have to treat in a unique way, and each child we have to build and develop without discriminating. There lies a good mental health. There develops a good mental health among teachers as well as among students. So whereas this practice, I think this is wonderful. Uh, psychology-based, research-based practice, that no, we have to condition ourselves to with the positive things right from the beginning. So we have to just reflect on the positive aspects of life. And once we are reflecting, thinking, and practicing those positive things, positive vibes, and these vibes they go to they settle the uh, they settle in our subconscious mind and we are coming to the end. And after this, I hand over the mic to Dr. Vasanti. She will uh, give you the information about the second session.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the sessions and for, and sharing that each speakers and even the session as a whole that to complete on time. Thank you so much, sir. And actually for this next session, we have, the next session we will be having, that is a role of art, movement and play therapy in mental well-being. And for this session, we will hand over to Dr. Ruchi Shukla, and she will be sharing the session. Ruchi, over to you. I request all the participants to please be inside. I think there will be some activity. Dr. Ruchi. And for this session, we have the speakers, Rashmi. All right, she will be taking the session.
A very good morning to everybody. I am Rashmi. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Dr. Ruchi? Dr. Ruchi, I'm handing over the session to you. All right, I think we will continue with the session. So, Ms. Rashmi, I think you're already online with us.
Yes.
So, the session is over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Is it possible for me to see some of the videos so that, because it's an interactive session, experiential session, do we have participants? Can I see some of the videos?
Videos.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yes. Ruchi, Dr. Ruchi is also here.
My apologies for joining in late.
All right.
Rashmi, you started the session, I would not intervene.
Okay, I haven't started yet, ma'am. If you want to say something, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, very good morning to all participants. And again, an apology for joining late, got caught up, and there was internet also, so took time joining. Rashmi is here with us. She is a very well-trained therapist in the alternative therapies as we know them. And alternative therapies, as most of us would probably understand, is that they are the line of therapy that one can use conveniently with not so much training, but a little understanding and help oneself in attaining a state of balance when disturbed. And in these therapies, there is art, there is music, there is dance, there is play. So Rashmi, I'm sure, will be talking about a lot of things which all of us can do at our end without really being quote unquote trained in the art, and yet get some marginal benefits out of the therapies. However, yes, I may add here that, if you are really disturbed, then you need a trained person to do this for you so that you achieve maximum benefit. However, as we know in our day-to-day life, we do keep using all these things. But yes, when in a larger state of disturbance or emotional upheaval, we do need experts to come in and help us out. So please do remember the difference. I'm sure Rashmi is going to help you understand when it is time to go to an expert. So Rashmi, leaving the session to you. Thank you so much. I hope all participants enjoy, learn, and benefit from this session, which is our aim. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, so I can see the participants because, like I said, I want it to be as interactive. I want it to be experiential, so I would like it this way. I will also, after every activity, I will try and keep a couple of minutes for questions. So let's try to make it very interactive. Okay, so is everybody ready for the session? Thumbs up or a yes or no? Thumbs up would be good. Yes, I can see the thumbs up. Yes. This is how we will keep the interaction so that I can see you and I'm sure I am visible. Am I visible? Yes, we will try to move around as much as possible. So every time I will try to ask you to raise your hands like this. I can see some of the hands. Yes. Okay. All right. Yes. Do you have balloons? I asked for, do we have balloons? Yes or no? Yes? We have balloons? Yes. Okay. Great. Okay. We have a paper and a pen?
Paper, yes, we have balloons and frame.
All right. Okay. So before we start, first I will give you my introduction. Then we will try and do one activity each. After an activity, we'll do a couple of questions. Okay, so I am Rashmi Singh. I am an expressive art-based therapist. When I say expressive arts, it means any form of art that I can use to express. Now, some people use music to express. Some people use art to express. Some people also write to express. कुछ लोग poems लिखते हैं, कुछ लोग music सुनते हैं. जिस भी तरीके से हम अपने emotions के साथ engage कर सकते हैं. Any way that you can express yourself, express how you are feeling is called art. So art has nothing to do with only pens, only colors and only brush. Art is any way of expression. तो इसमें play भी आएगा, movement भी आएगा, music भी आएगा, writing भी आएगी, drama भी आएगा, dance भी आएगा. जो भी हम art form सोच सकते हैं, express कर सकते हैं जिस भी तरीके से, that becomes expressive art. Therapy. अब therapy इसीलिए है because we are focusing on mental well-being. और उसमें we have to focus on being creative. अगर हम किसी भी तरह की art activity कर रहे हैं, whatever we will do today, you don't have to focus on अरे अच्छे से बना या नहीं बना. मुझको अच्छा लगा बनाते हुए is what matters. So whatever activity we will do, we will just try to engage. We will just try to relax and have fun. We have to be creative and expressive because we are talking about emotions. We don't have to be an artist who draws the right thing. Okay, so first thing that we'll do as a warm-up activity, very simple activity. Everybody has a paper. The first thing that we will do is draw 5 small circles on the paper. And once you are done, you can give me a thumbs up. So I believe somebody has joined, some people have joined us online. They can give a thumbs up. If you feel like switching on your video, that would be amazing. Everybody has a sheet of paper. You just have to draw small 5 circles. So something like this. They don't have to be symmetrical, they just need to be circle. 5 circles. This is just the step 1. Once you are done with the step 1, whoever is done can do a thumbs up. All right, I can see a couple of thumbs up already. Thumbs up, okay. Some people are still receiving the sheet. All right, so once you have drawn the 5 circles, now the second step is, in these 5 circles, we have to draw something. So every circle has to be a drawing. Think of something very creative. So you have 5 circles, you have to draw something in the circles. So each circle has something. For example, it could be a button. It could be a balloon. You cannot add something to the circle, but you can draw around it. तो सर्कुलर शेप से कितनी चीजें हम बना सकते हैं? सबके पास 5 सर्कल है. देखते हैं सबसे क्रिएटिव किसका आता है. बलून, बटन आर कॉमन थिंग्स. So I will give everybody 2 minutes for this. You can draw something in the circle, but the shape has to be a circle. आगे पीछे ऊपर नीचे कुछ ऐड करके एक सर्कल से क्या क्या बन सकता है. And let's see who has the most different one. The ones who have joined us online, you can also write on the chat that this is what I have drawn whenever you are done. Okay, let's give 1 more minute. Can anybody think of something creative? Do we have something creative which you think nobody else would have drawn from a circle? I can see the participants are drawing. Can anybody share something creative that they have drawn? Something you think nobody else could think of? Okay, I can see the thumbs up. And I can see people smiling. Lock is very creative. Lock. Okay. Yes. Somebody has drawn emotions. That is very interesting. Emojis. Yes, all the emoticons. You have used the circles. Nice. And then this is, somebody has drawn stuff in the circle. Mountains, a wheel. Okay, this is very creative. Okay. Somebody has said a lock. I can see more. Sun. Star. Sun. Okay, leaf. All right. Okay, interesting. So this was just to get going. I can see people smiling already, just to get the warm up. We have a lot of other things to do. People who have joined us online, I can see one answer on the chat. There is lock a person wearing earphone. Okay, so earphone is circle. Anything else that is circular? We can have a slice of pizza. That is also circular. Oh, ice cream cone. This is very interesting. Ice cream cone, wool, wheel, flour. All right. Very well done. Okay. Okay. Now what we'll do is we will, now that we know how to use art. Okay. I'm seeing more drawings. Nice. Everybody is enjoying drawing. So everybody will enjoy the session. Symbols of emotions. Yes. So face is circular. Moon could be circular, sun could be circular. And like we discussed, balloons. Okay, so when we talk about art therapy, when we talk about play, movement, and art, we have to remember a very simple word that I have, which is MSSS. M is movement, then we have 3S. S is sound, silence, and storytelling. So we can, these are the 4 modalities. We can use movement, art, play, and explore all these modalities. किसी भी तरह का movement में dance आ जाएगा, movement में using your body आ जाएगा. Then we come to silence. Now, how can we use silence in therapy? Or how can we use silence for well-being? Can anybody try and answer? Can we use silence for mental health well-being, for emotional well-being? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How? Anybody on the online platform can also try. Any participant would like to answer? How can we use silence for therapy? I can see one hand raising. To reflect, ध्यान करो. Meditation में silence use होता है. Introspection में silence use होता है. So the thing, अगर जब हम लोग बच्चों के साथ काम करते हैं जिनमें बहुत हाइपर एक्टिविटी होती है, अवेयरनेस, यस, तो हमको उनका फिजिकल एजिटेशन चैनलाइज करने के लिए उनको बहुत मूवमेंट बेस्ड एक्टिविटी देनी पड़ती है. लेकिन कभी कभी हम ओवर स्टिमुलेट कर देते हैं बच्चों को, विच मीन्स अगर आपने आजकल के बच्चों का टाइम टेबल देखा होगा, सुबह उठ के कोई क्लास है, फिर ट्यूशन है, फिर स्कूल है, फिर क्लास है. सो दे आर ओवर स्केड्यूल्ड. इन बच्चों को अगर आप एक कमरे में 5-10 मिनट बैठने को बोले बिना फोन के, बिना आईपैड के, तो क्या होगा? दे बिकम वेरी रेस्टलेस बिकॉज आई डू नॉट नो हाउ टू रेगुलेट माई सेल्फ in absence of any external stimulator, any external stimulant. That is why when we talk about mindful listening, when we talk about active listening, these are the moments, these are the ways in which we can use silence to create, like somebody said, awareness, to meditate. I will give you a very simple activity that you can try. Everybody has music on YouTube nowadays, instrumental music. You can pick any piece of instrumental music which has a lot of instruments. It could have tabla, guitar, sitar, flute. You lie down with your eyes closed and you try to focus only on one element. So you are enjoying the sound. You are practicing mindfulness. You are not moving, you are silent, and you are actively listening. This is called active listening. Now what we'll do is, we tried to draw a couple of things just to get you comfortable with paper, pencil, and just to get you going. This was just the warm-up. Next, in next activity, we will use the balloons that we have. I will give you people a minute to blow the balloon, and I can see you. So once you have the balloon, you can just pick the balloon that you have and just blow that. Yes, I can see. Yes. A regular size, not very small, and not very big, because we'll have to play around with it, so it should not be very big, a regular size. So we're practicing some breathing also, and people are already having fun. When was the last time you played with the balloon? Do you remember playing with a balloon? When was the last time you were playing with it? So raise your hands if you have played with you can raise your hand like this if you played with the balloon in the last week. Last week? Last month? Okay, I can see the balloons are ready. Okay, can you just put your hand up and wave the balloon for me? Yes, okay. So we are ready for the activity. I want everybody to step up. Keep your stuff on the chair and step up. You can keep it down also. Yes, I can see everybody is trying to get space to move around. Okay, yes, I can see people standing. Okay, so just stand wherever you can, just enough space to play with the balloon. So the first thing that we will do is just bounce the balloon in the air, just play with it. Just play with it. Bounce it up. बलून को छोड़िए और हवा में फेंकिए. हाँ, उसको बस नीचे गिरने नहीं देना है. You use your hands. I can see some balloons in the air. Use both your hands. Yes, okay. We're just using hands. Now try to use your fingertips. Use only your fingertips. So we don't use the hand now. We don't use the palm. We use only the fingertips. Yes, somebody's using it like this. Okay. Very well. Everybody's having fun. Let's use the left hand now. Only the left hand. Nobody cheats. We'll use only the left hand for a while. Okay. Can we try using the elbow now? Elbow like this? Yes. I don't know. Yes, I think yes, it is becoming very difficult for some people, but everybody is having fun. You can use both elbows. Okay. Okay. Can we use the head now? The head and the face. So balance it like this. Move your head, your face. Yes. That looks interesting. Oh, somebody is trying to balance it on their head. Bounce it a bit. थोड़ा सा तो खेलिए. प्ले थेरेपी एक्सपीरियंस करने के लिए थोड़ा तो रिस्क लेना पड़ेगा. कौन कौन रिस्क नहीं ले रहा है? कौन कौन बहुत सेफ खेल रहा है? It's just a balloon. It can break. Okay, yes. All right. Now, I want somebody from the participants who is online to select one body part. We tried the fingertips, we tried the palm, we tried the elbow, we tried the head and the face. Can somebody suggest one other body part? So did somebody say nose? Okay, I will give you a couple of seconds to think of some other body part. You can also show me. Feet. Okay. Feet, knee. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to use the foot. So you can use the foot like the football. Or you can also, if there is space, let's try it for at least 10 seconds. Foot, yes, you can step out. Foot, it could be your knees. Yes, that is looking very playful. Somebody will have to step out. Yes, we are stepping out now. You can use your knees. Okay, we are not on the football ground, but yes, everybody's having fun. All right. Now let's come back to our chairs. Let's sit down. We can keep the balloon. Niche. Let's place the balloon aside. Take a sheet of paper. Some people are also drawing on the balloon. Okay, now on the sheet of paper, the sheet that you have, if I ask you to draw how you are feeling right now, you have to draw just a line. How are you feeling right now? I can give you some examples. So let's say if I'm feeling very calm, I may draw a wave. If I am feeling very angry, I may just scribble like this. So however you are feeling, if I ask you to draw what you are feeling right now, what would you draw? Only you should understand what you have drawn. You don't have to worry about what will somebody else be able to understand, how will they receive it. It is for you. So if I ask you to draw what you are feeling right now, what would that line look like? Okay, somebody has drawn. Okay. Okay, it's a very calm wave. So you're feeling calm. Okay, everybody's drawing a wave. Okay. If you're done with the line, what I want you to experiment or try is, if now you had to draw an object, what does your feeling look like? Is it a huge feeling like a mountain? Is it a small feeling like a chair or a button? Does it feel like a flower? Does it feel like sand? So how big or small is the feeling? If I asked you to draw an object, okay. Okay, this is a scenery. All right. So, okay. Some other drawings, yes. Some people are feeling shy to share their artwork. This is how you're feeling it. Okay. So now let's talk about flower. Okay. Okay. Last thing. If you could touch this feeling, what would it feel like? If you touch this feeling, what would it feel like? Whatever you're feeling right now, if you have to explain this feeling in form of a touch, what would that feel like? You can draw and tell me, however you're feeling. I can understand these are very difficult questions because this is not how we talk about feelings, but just this is, if you feel like you have to push yourself. You have to think. This is what you want your students to do, right? You want them to think in different ways. You want them to be able to express using different modalities. So if you were to explain this feeling using a touch, what does it feel like? Does it feel soft like a fur? Does it feel like the thorn? What does this feeling right now feels like? So a couple of things that you would have experienced जब हम लोग ये आर्ट एक्सप्रेसिव एक्टिविटी कर रहे होंगे, मैं उन मैकेनिज्म्स के बारे में आपको बताती हूँ. तो एक, जब बहुत छोटे बच्चे होते हैं, clouds, you're feeling light, so you would draw something like a cloud. Then there are birds, cheerful birds. See how we are relating things. And then there is, I'm trying to guess, it's a wave. Okay, all right. Okay, so a couple of things. When we work with students, I'm seeing all the artwork also. So when we work with primary students, let's talk about primary, then we'll move to pre-primary, then we'll talk about the teenagers. जब हम बहुत छोटे बच्चों के साथ काम करते हैं, तो उनको अपने इमोशंस रेगुलेट करने नहीं आते हैं. मतलब उनको सिर्फ 3 फीलिंग्स समझ आएंगी छोटे बच्चों को, सैड, मैड और बैड. उनको ये समझ आता है मुझको बुरा कब लग रहा है, I am not happy, so I am sad. I am frustrated about something, I am mad, or I'm feeling bad. Now they don't know they're feeling angry. They don't know they're feeling disappointed. When we are really small, एक छोटा बच्चा क्या करता है, या तो हंसता है या तो रोता है. These are the two expressions that they understand. जब हम बड़े होते हैं तो हमको एंगर भी पता है, डिसअपॉइंटमेंट भी पता है, गिल्ट भी पता है, डिस्गस्ट भी पता है, एक्साइटमेंट भी पता है, सरप्राइज भी पता है. But when we work with pre-primary students, they don't know how they are feeling. When they don't know how they are feeling, they will struggle with communication and regulation. तो जब हम उनसे ऐसी एक्टिविटी करवाते हैं जिसमें we are pushing them. So in the last 10-15 minutes, I was actually pushing you. हो सकता है आपको लगता हो काफी सिली, अरे ये मैं क्या ड्रॉ करूं, इसको ऐसे करना है. So we are pushing ourselves. We are trying to find ways to communicate. Step to emotional regulation is always emotional identification. अगर मैं परेशान हूं तो मुझको समझ नहीं आएगा मैं क्या करूं. First, I need to understand how am I feeling, which emotion am I expressing. So first you identify the emotion, then you tag the emotion, and then you try to regulate the emotion. So to help small students, younger students identify their emotions, we try to give them art activity where we leave them free and give the space to express. Once they are able to identify how they are feeling, then we can work on their regulation. So you must have heard in school, what we try to do is have a calm corner. And we try to train the students, whenever you are feeling upset, you need to communicate that you need to go to a safe space so that you don't get into a fight, you don't get into an aggressive episode. जो बच्चे tantrums throw करते हैं, वो क्यों tantrums throw करते हैं? They are facing a difficult emotion which they are not able to understand for themselves and communicate. In art, the resistance is low. अगर एक बड़े किसी भी इंसान से बात करके ये पूछो अच्छा तुमको कैसा लग रहा है, तो बहुत सोचना पड़ता है. These are called cognitive filters. अगर मैं ये बोलूं अच्छा तुम मुझको बताओ कैसा महसूस हो रहा है, ड्रॉ करके बता सकते हो क्या, तो बच्चा अपने हिसाब से कुछ ड्रॉ करेगा. हो सकता है हमको समझ ना आए क्या ड्रॉ कर रहा है, लेकिन उस ड्राइंग को हम एक पीस लेके चल सकते हैं उससे बात करने के लिए. अच्छा तुमने क्या बनाया, इसका क्या मतलब है. तो आर्ट थेरेपी में हम कभी इंटरप्रेट नहीं करते हैं, हम हमेशा पूछते हैं. तो अगर मैंने कुछ बनाया है उसका मतलब मेरे लिए कुछ और हो सकता है, आपके लिए कुछ और हो सकता है. सो वी यूज दैट एज अ ब्रिज टू टॉक अबाउट डिफिकल्ट इमोशंस दैट अ यंगर चाइल्ड मे नॉट बी एबल टू कम्युनिकेट अदरवाइज. उसके लिए आसान हो जाता है, उसको वल्नरेबिलिटी नहीं लगती, उसके कॉग्निटिव फिल्टर्स डाउन होते हैं. The younger adult feels safe and they will be happy to talk to you about the drawing. They may not be able to directly talk about their emotions or their experience, लेकिन ड्रॉ करके फिर उसके बारे में बहुत इंटरेस्ट से आपको वो बताएंगे ऐसे हुआ था, इसका मतलब ये. Which means we are bringing down two things, resistance and cognitive filters. I will stop here for a couple of questions if you have. अगर आप किसी के पास कोई questions हैं, then we will do another activity. Any questions anybody wants to ask? Any doubt anybody has? I can see a couple of raised. Oh, all right. If you could just communicate, yeah.
A very good morning. Just now the activity that we were doing exactly is for the primary students. So if at all it is for the adolescents, so does this kind of activity work with them also?
A very good question. So now whenever we do an art activity, first of all, we try to understand what the goal is. I can do the same thing with a teenager, but I will not make it so simple. So with teenagers, what I actually tell them is that you maintain a emotional pie chart for every day. So you write the date and then you do an emotional pie chart. So if the goal is emotional identification, that will work with younger population also and the teens also. The teens, you will make it a bit more complicated. You will make it a bit more cognitively designed for them. But if the goal is identification, yes, you are absolutely right. This is something that we can do from primary to the teens. Because even as adults, we are not able to understand what we are feeling at every minute. We may feel stressed, but we need to sit down and understand, okay, what is it that stressed me? Was it the morning traffic? Was it the conference? Was it the things at home? So if we talk about emotional identification, that goal can be used from pre-primary to the teenagers. But for teenagers, you may give them a bit instructions which is a bit more apt to their stage. So like I said, you can ask, usually what I ask is you maintain a emotional pie chart. So you give them a feelings circle which has all the feelings, not just sad, mad, sleepy, from guilt to embarrassment to happy, surprised. And then you will ask them to maintain with the date. Once your day is done, draw a circle and have sections. Okay, so I was anxious for 10% of the day. I was feeling lethargic for 20% of the day. I was really excited. Another way that this helps is we act out when we are dealing with one emotion for a longer duration. If I had a sad day today, the child may not act out. But if the child is having a sad week or is getting anxious about something for entire month, that is when they start acting out. So what we say is emotional, we don't have to bottle up the emotions. When we talk about emotional regulation, we have to understand and regulate. So when we talk about emotional identification, it helps you understand the trigger, like we see. I hope that answers your question. And somebody is asking, MSSS, does it work for 14 to 18? Yes, MSSS are the 4 modalities. When we talk about play and art therapy, expressive art therapy, the 4 modalities that we can use are movement, sound, silence, and storytelling. Yes, it can be used with any age group. It can also be used for somebody who is younger than 14 or elder than 18. You can start it at the age of 3 and it can go up to age 90. We have to, but before you start any element from MSSS, you have to first figure out what is it that you want to do. अगर एक बच्चा है उसके फिजिकल एजिटेशन को चैनलाइज करने के लिए करना है तो हम मूवमेंट करेंगे. अगर बहुत हाइपर एक्टिव रहता है तो हम मूवमेंट यूज करेंगे. अगर एक टीनेजर है, बिकॉज यू आर आस्किंग 14 to 18, they do not have the ability to stay silent, or they get very restless if they don't have the mobile or they're not watching something. So we will try to ask to practice mindfulness or active listening. So yes, MSSS can work in any age group, but we first need to just identify what is my goal for that. Any more question, anybody? Somebody else was raising their hand. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for conducting this session, and it brought out the inner child in us. You have mentioned something very interesting, that is that we should not ask them to, we just have to ask them or question them what they have drawn and not interpret. I wanted some more clarification and elaboration in this regard. Why not interpret?
All right, very interesting question. And a lot of people feel that art therapy is about interpreting, right? So if I use black, I could wear black because it makes me confident. But there are people who may think, are you feeling low? Is that why you're wearing dark colors? So there are 2 things that I want you to remember, okay? First thing is interpretation versus co-construction. So when we talk about art, in any form, art is very subjective. If I were to share one piece of poem here with all 10, 20, 50 of you, the basic meaning of the poem may be the same, but how you personally interpret it could be very different. So art, because art is so subjective, I'm not saying your drawing will not mean anything. But what I'm saying is you will know more about your drawing than me. So you will ask questions. If somebody has drawn a river, you will ask them, अच्छा आपने ऐसी river बनाई है, इसमें आपने blue color use करा है. I would want to know कि आपने ये क्यों बनाया. अगर इंटरप्रेट करती हूँ तो मैं अपने क्लाइंट की सब्जेक्टिविटी को नहीं समझ पा रही हूँ. So that is why we do not interpret, because art is very subjective. We do the co-construction of the meaning. So every art piece will mean something. My process will be meaning something to me. My content will mean something to me. But because it is very subjective, it is very personal, and I want to give you, my client, the space to express. Another thing is, हम जब भी थेरेपी की बात करते हैं तो we talk about a couple of things like non-judgmental space, है ना? अगर मैंने इंटरप्रिटेशन वाला उसमें एंगल डाल दिया तो स्टैंडर्ड्स आ जाएंगे, जजमेंट आ जाएगा, प्री कंसीव नोशंस आ जाएंगे. उसमें जब ये सारी चीजें आ गई तो फिर एक्सप्रेशन कम हो जाएगा, लिमिट हो जाएगा. थेरेपी, आर्ट थेरेपी, थेरेप्यूटिक तब होती है जब उसमें फ्री एक्सप्रेशन, फ्रॉम ऑर्गेनिक एक्सप्रेशन, प्री ऑर्गेनिक, जिसमें मैं फोकस कर रही हूँ एक्सप्रेशन पर, ना कि इस बात पर ध्यान देती हूँ क्या बना, कैसे बना, किसी को समझ आएगा या नहीं आएगा, मैंने तो बड़ी खुशी से बनाया था लेकिन अरे ये तो कैसा दिख रहा है. So a couple of things that we discussed was, it is co-construction of meaning. So me and the client, we will co-construct the meaning, and there is no interpretation because it's very subjective. And the second thing I talked about was, any art process will be therapeutic if there is more organic or free expression and less of the technicalities of it. तो अगर मैं डांस करती हूँ तो मुझको अच्छा तो लगेगा, चाहे मैं कथक भरतनाट्यम कर रही हूँ या अपने रूम में म्यूजिक लगाकर अपने आप नाच रही हूँ, लेकिन मुझको मजा किसमें ज्यादा आएगा? थेरेप्यूटिक दोनों रहेंगे. अब मेरी नीड क्या है? जब मैं परफॉर्मेंस वाला डांस कर रही हूँ, आई विल फोकस, माई पोस्चर्स नीड टू बी वेरी फाइन, ओके, आई हैव टू बी पर्टिकुलर. सो दिस विल ऑल्सो बी थेरेप्यूटिक, लेकिन हम इसको थेरेप्यूटिक बोलेंगे, थेरेपी नहीं बोलेंगे. थेरेपी में को कंस्ट्रक्शन होगा और ऑर्गेनिक एक्सप्रेशन होगा. आई वॉन्ट टू शेयर वन लास्ट एग्जाम्पल फॉर दिस. तो जब बच्चे बहुत सैड होते हैं, ये टीनेज बच्चे जब बहुत दुखी होते हैं, तो वो अपने घर पे बहुत सैड सैड पेंटिंग्स बनाएंगे, बहुत डार्क पेंटिंग्स बनाते हैं. उनके अब पेरेंट्स को बहुत, दे गेट वेरी वरिड, अरे तुम इतनी सैड पेंटिंग्स बना रहे हो तो अच्छी बात नहीं है, ड्रॉ समथिंग नाइस, कुछ कलरफुल बनाओ, क्या इतना ये सब बनाते रहते हो. लेकिन अब इट इज नॉट अनहेल्दी इफ आई ड्रॉ समथिंग विच डज नॉट लुक प्रिटी. मुझको बनाने में मजा आया, इट वॉज थेरेप्यूटिक फॉर मी. सो अगर इसमें मैंने इंटरप्रेट करा तो मैं ऐसे इंटरप्रेट करूंगी, अरे इस इंसान का तो मूड बड़ा बड़ा खराब होगा, उसने इतनी डार्क पेंटिंग बनाई. लेकिन सच तो ये है, उसने अपना एक्सप्रेस करा, उसको तो मजा आया, उसके लिए तो दिस इज अ वेरी नाइस पेंटिंग. सो दैट कुड बी वन एग्जाम्पल दैट हाउ डिफरेंट थिंग्स कुड मीन डिफरेंट, could have different meanings. So we always try to understand, but we give them free space, non-judgmental space, and we co-construct the meaning. I hope that clarifies. Okay, can we do one more activity and then I can take the questions? One more activity I want to, can you give me like a thumbs up if you're okay for one activity? One more activity, we'll experiment, we'll try. Okay. So the rules are the same. You just have to focus on your expression. You don't have to worry about if others are able to understand or not. मुश्किल भी लगता है तो पुश करके देखते हैं अपने आप को. हम अपने बच्चों से इतना काम करवाते हैं जो वो नहीं चाहते करना, but they listen to us. So let's just explore. Okay. I hope if you have colors, you can use colors. If you don't have colors, even a pencil or a pen is also fine. The topic of this activity, art activity, is called My Monster, which means all of us have certain parts about ourselves which we don't like. कुछ तो ऐसा होगा अपने बारे में जिस पर मुझको काम करना है, जो मुझको पसंद नहीं है, किसी तरह का चैलेंज पुट करता है या दिक्कत होती है मुझको या मेरे आसपास वालों को. तो यू कैन टेक, आई वांट एवरीबॉडी टू टेक 10 seconds. थिंक ऑफ समथिंग. अगर मैं बोलूं कि यू हैव टू ड्रॉ द मॉन्स्टर, माय मॉन्स्टर, दिस इज समथिंग दैट यू हैव, अ मॉन्स्टर दैट lives within you, that lives in your house, that you have, an attribute, a trait about you that you find difficult to work on, anything. So think of something that if I ask you to draw my monster, whatever comes to your mind, just draw that. अगर किसी के पास कोई सवाल है तो वो मुझसे पूछ सकता है. I will give everybody, I will give you a couple of minutes. Try to think. A trait that you don't like. So if I get very angry and I don't know what wrong decisions I make when I'm angry, anger could be my monster. It could look a certain way. It could have I don't know, maybe long nails, maybe horns, anything, feel free. It could look like an animal, alien. Let's see. I want everybody to take at least a couple of minutes to think and draw. Add as many details as possible. All right, okay. Monster, okay, all right. Somebody has drawn their own. This one looks like an alien. Somebody has drawn, I'm assuming, an angry version of themselves. Okay. Trapped, all right, okay. So also, I'm understanding that it takes a lot of courage to share what you have drawn. So I'm really grateful that everybody is participating and sharing. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. So now the second part is that now that we have our monster, I'm sure you were thinking about something when you were drawing this monster. Second element that you have to add is my monster's favorite snack, which means what is it that the monster feeds on? Monster क्या करना चाहता है, क्या गुस्सा आता है, जब उसको गुस्सा आता है तो क्या करता है, कौन सी चीजों को खराब करता है. So if it's anger, how does anger really bother you? So what is my monster's favorite snack? Brush my emotions, okay. All right. I can see another monster here. It's a dinosaur. Okay. My online participants can also interact via chat. So if you want to talk about your monster on the or about the activity, you can also interact via chat. And then towards the end, I will try and take up a couple of questions. So favorite snack means that the monster that you have, that trait that you're not able to regulate. What does it feed on? Dinosaur. Okay, I think that's a snake. Interesting. Now, the last thing that we will add on that piece of paper where you have drawn the monster is, we will try to put the monster in a calm space. So the monster is there. If it's a dragon, or let's just try and be creative and see what happens. You have the monster, which is very angry at the moment. What can you do in the environment to calm it down? जब भी हमको गुस्सा आता है या मॉन्स्टर जब एक्टिव होता है, कौन सी चीजें हैं that can make you feel calm or that can help you get the monster in control? So you can think about all your senses. You can think about the settings and people. All right. It's a scenery is what I can see. I can't see the monster. Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. All right. So now I can see all these sheets with these huge monsters. Now you have to do an element of adding some calmness in the picture. Think of, I will give you some examples here. Think of people, settings, and all your senses. What if you smell, you feel calmer? What if you touch, you feel calmer? What are these people around which you feel calmer? What is a setting where you feel calmer? So 5 senses plus 2 more things, people and settings. I could see that one monster which was trapped and then then crushes the emotions. And then the best way is to put the monster to sleep. Okay, that's a very cute looking monster there. Now I want everybody to take 2-3 minutes, think about the activity and tell me that इस activity के goals क्या हो सकते हैं. अगर ये activity मैंने बच्चों के साथ करी, तो कौन सी चीजों पर मैं फोकस कर सकती हूँ. आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था जब आपने ये सब करा, और कौन सी स्किल्स जो है, इमोशनल स्किल्स, या कौन सी चीजें हो रही थी, कौन सी टेक्निक्स. I want you people to think, because you have done it, and tell me what was happening and how can we use it. How can it be helpful? You can take 2 minutes and then think about what was happening. क्या elements थे इसमें? इसके साथ यूज कर सकते हैं, क्या पर्पस होगा, क्या गोल होगा. आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था जब आप ये कर रहे थे. Anybody wants to try?
Yes, ma'am. Through these activities, we have got the joy of expression. Then sharing of our loads to others to reduce our own loads of stress or whatever may be, negative feelings, emotions. So these are the things which has been influenced through these activities.
Okay. If I ask a very young student to do this, how do you think, what will happen at the cognitive level? What will they think about? If you say somebody from class 3, what will they do?
Yeah, their creativity level and imagination, those will be increased.
What about emotional awareness? When I am pushing them to think about what makes you, तुमको गुस्सा कब आता है, तुम कब act out करते. So there is expression, and like somebody is telling on the chat also, controlling emotions. तो बच्चों को ये बताना कि देखो जब तुम लोगों के साथ होते हो ना, you become this aggressive person. So this aggression is your motive. या जब तुमको attention नहीं मिलती है ना, so you become very cranky. Now these things, if I use these terms, they are not able to understand. But if you use an art activity, you are trying to get them into introspection. छोटे बच्चे अपने इमोशंस के बारे में नहीं सोचते हैं, अपना बिहेवियर कैसे कंट्रोल करेंगे. जो बिहेवियर होता है उसके पीछे पहले कोई इमोशन होता है. इमोशन आएगा.
This will reflect their own images.
Yes, absolutely. So it gives you a space for self-expression. Then there is a reflection, Once there is a repetition, that we can the coping mechanism. Unhealthy coping, healthy coping can be discussed. So these are a couple of things that we were trying, that we can explore this activity. Like somebody said the word control. So yes, emotions, we need to also teach students, no emotion is negative. No emotion is a natural. एंगर एक इमोशन है जो नेचुरल है, अग्रेशन में उसको नहीं बदलने देना है जो भी है. तो यू आर ओके इफ यू आर फीलिंग एंग्री, आपको बस गुस्सा अपना कंट्रोल करना, रेगुलेट करना, सही तरीके से चैनलाइज करना है. दिस इज ऑल्सो. थैंक यू सो मच. एनीबडी एल्स वांट्स टू ऐड समथिंग?
Hello, ma'am. The activity of drawing the art which we have drawn in the papers, it was to bring out our emotion and the stress level which we are going through. And after drawing it, we came to know about the reason of it. Like when we do this activity with the students, basically. So after drawing it on the paper, the student will feel satisfied and he will be calm after putting it on the paper. So basically, through the drawing of the picture and doing the art activity, he can calm his emotions.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. What we say this is insight, because when you're talking about your emotions, you're also understanding, oh, this is what happens. So you understand when do you get angry, when this monster is at work, and what can you do about it.
Hello, good morning, ma'am. Basically, when I was doing this activity, I was thinking about my drawbacks, the bad qualities that I have inside me in the form of monster, and then the causes of my bad qualities or the drawbacks in the form of snakes.
Yes, yes. So these couple of things that you're talking about, right? If you were to talk about these things to an individual, एक बच्चे से अगर ये बात करनी होगी कितना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. यही बातें हैं जो हम करना चाहते हैं. We want them to understand themselves. इसीलिए हम कहते हैं आर्ट थेरेपी फैसिलिटेट करता है. तो जो अभी आपने 2-3-4 चीजें बोली, that is exactly what we want our students to feel, so that they are able to understand it themselves. Insight जिसको हम कहते हैं. एक बच्चे को दिन में 3 या 4 बार टीचर से, पेरेंट्स से सुनने को मिलता होगा, लेकिन जब तक खुद वो बात मुझको समझ नहीं आएगी, मैं उस पर काम कैसे करूं? और वो बात समझ मुझको एक सेफ नॉन जजमेंटल स्पेस में आएगी. सो आर्ट, वी यूज आर्ट और प्ले एज मोडालिटीज टू डेवलप दिस स्पेस. वी गिव देम अ स्पेस टू थिंक. जब उनको सोचना आ गया, समझना आ गया, तो मोटिवेशन रहता है उस पर काम करने का. वरना बच्चों को पता होता है वो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनका मन नहीं करता है, मैं ठीक क्यों करूं, ऐसा हो रहा है तो होने दो. So when we talk about motivation, when we talk about insight, these are the goals of this activity. So thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I can see on the chat that yes, art, even in the process when you are making it, reduces stress. There is another thing that somebody is mentioning कि चीजें कम हो जाती हैं जब मैंने उसको ड्रॉ कर दिया. इसको हम लोग आर्ट थेरेपी में एक्सटर्नलाइजेशन कहते हैं. When I express it, जो सब कुछ मेरे दिमाग में था, अगर वो मैंने एक पेपर पे बैठ के ड्रॉ कर दिया, तो मुझको थोड़ा लगता है ठीक है, now this is something which can be managed. It is not, I am not carrying the burden. I feel lighter. So if I am very stressed and if I literally dance, तो लाइटर तो लगता है. जैसा हम महसूस करते हैं वैसा अगर मैंने मूव करा तो एक्सप्रेस करके आई फील बेटर. So yes, the entire process of engaging in any form of art or play is very therapeutic. And then once you talk about it, it always has to have a goal, जैसे insight or emotional regulation. Okay. Any more feedback? Anything anybody wants to share about this activity? Anything? Feel free to express any questions. I will, because I have one more activity last, and then we'll take up a couple of questions towards the end. Okay, I want to ask a question before we do the next activity, that how many of you on a daily basis, as a part of your lifestyle, do something which has anything to do with movement, storytelling, silence and sound? कोई ऐसी एक्टिविटी है जो कोई प्रैक्टिस करता है डेली बेसिस पर, कोई छोटी सी चीज? कुछ लोग जर्नल लिखते हैं, कुछ लोग म्यूजिक सुनते हैं, कुछ लोग डांस प्रैक्टिस करते हैं. Anything that you can raise your hand if you try something, if you have one movement or art based activity as a part of your lifestyle. Can anybody raise their hands? Yes, okay. What about others? Okay, yes. Would you like to share some interesting ones? Like we talked about the active listening activity, we talked about the emotional pie chart, we talked about drawing out your monster. Anybody wants to share anything that they do on a daily basis? Okay, somebody's raising their hands, all right.
I used to listen to music every day, which gives a lot of peace to my mind.
All right. Acha, music is talking about music. When I am sad, I want to listen to a particular music.
It is not specific, but it depends on the time, at what time I'm listening. Evening time, different one, daytime, different one, and even in the morning time, when I have breakfast, then also I have music. It's different kind of music.
Music a lot of people listen to, and like somebody was mentioning that also listening to your favorite tracks. Music is also, even if it's happening in the background, I'm not actively listening. That also really helps because it gives an element of facilitation.
Whenever we work in the office also, sometimes we put headphones and work by listening to music.
Yes.
Absolutely. Energy.
Yes.
You can keep longer period.
It keeps us motivating. It cancels the monotony and the boredom that happens when you're working for long hours. All right. Then there is art and craft. There is going outside, talking to dear ones. All right. Okay. So one last activity we will try to do. We take a couple of questions. I want you to divide it into 4 parts. Just fold it in, have a line, and it divides into 4 parts. So I have a paper. I have divided it into 4 parts. I will, in the first quarter, I want you to write 2 things about yourself that you agree on and others agree on. तो ऐसा बहुत बार होता है, मैं अपने बारे में जो सोचती हूँ और जो मेरे आसपास के लोग सोचते हैं बहुत अलग होता है. तो 2 ऐसी that you also and others also. हम उसको कहते हैं open window. So I have 4 columns. The first one I am calling open. Open means 2 traits, only 2 traits, your personality traits that you agree and others also agree. औरों को भी आपके बारे में पता है और आप भी अपने बारे में ऐसा ही. So for example, you could be very funny. You also know you're funny, your friends also know you're funny. Things about yourself which are open traits. Open, 2 open trades. When you're done, please give me a thumbs up. I'll tell you the next one. Okay, 2 open trades. So I am funny and I am kind. My friends also think I'm kind. I also know I'm kind. When you're done with open, I want you to move to the next quarter. There you will write 2 hidden traits. Hidden as in 2 things about you only you know, nobody else knows. They are hidden and only you know. So I am very lazy, or I am very greedy. I get angry. Or things that you don't want people around you to know. They are hidden traits. They are known only to you. हमने एक ओपन करा, उसमें 2 चीजें लिखी अपने बारे में जो मुझको पता है, औरों को भी पता है. फिर मैंने हिडन करा, 2 चीजें लिखी अपने बारे में जो सिर्फ मुझको पता है, औरों को मैं नहीं दिखाना चाहती, मैं अपने तक ही रखती हूँ. Open and hidden. Are we done? We have 2 more to do. The third one that we will do is blind spot. अब blind spot का मतलब क्या है? औरों को तो मेरे बारे में दिखता है, लेकिन मुझको तो समझ नहीं आता, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? Which means these are things people tell you about yourself, but you don't believe them. Think about compliments. When somebody tells you you're very smart, and you feel I am not smart. Or somebody could say you are very impatient, but you know you are not impatient. So 2 things about yourself that people keep telling you, but you don't agree. So it's a blind spot for you, but others can see. Comments that you get from people, friends, you don't believe it, you are unable to understand why would they see you this way. And we are calling it the blind spot. Till now we have done open traits, hidden traits, blind spot. The last one that we will do is unknown. Things that you are absolutely not. ये 2 चीजें जो ना आप अपने आप को आपको पता है आप ये तो नहीं हो, किसी ने कभी बोला भी नहीं है. For example, I know I can be impulsive, impatient, but I know I can never be unkind. Unkindness is something unknown to me. That is something I don't feel about myself, others don't see. Unknown traits. Bossy, I can never be bossy. So this window has 4 quarters: open, hidden, blind spot, and unknown. I want everybody to take 1 more minute and have a look at your sheet at the window. Okay, are we done? I can see everybody thinking a lot. Was it difficult or easy? Was this activity difficult or easy? Difficult or easy? Raise your hands if you think it was difficult. Okay. Raise your hands if you think it was easy. All right, okay. And what about others? Medium, okay. It was somewhere in the middle. All right. So this, anything interesting that came up then anybody wants to share? कैसा लगा करते हुए, दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था? ये एक एक्टिविटी है जो इसको हम जोहारीज विंडो कहते हैं और ये टीन्स के साथ बहुत यूज करा जाता है बिकॉज टीन्स यूजुअली स्ट्रगल विद दे आर इम्पल्सिव, दे आर इन देयर आइडेंटिटी फॉर्मेशन और उनके कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स बहुत होते हैं विद देयर पेरेंट्स, सिबलिंग्स, टीचर्स एंड अडल्ट्स अराउंड देम. This can be done with two people also. And then when you exchange it, so if I do this with a parent and a child, or two children, siblings, or two teens who are who need conflict resolution, we are trying to focus here on understanding of yourself and other, concept of self and other, concept of how to be together, concept of what do you know about yourself and how are you being seen, traits that you want to work on. So this is an activity which is about introspection and identity, self-identity. And this works interesting when it comes to teenagers. अभी हमने इसका बहुत small version करा है. You can do this activity for a couple of minutes. You can ask them to write 10 things, 10 traits, anything about themselves. You can ask them, you can expand that in interesting ways. But what we say that this is a Johari's window to yourself and others. Works interesting with relationships and teens. Some people found it interesting. Okay. Anybody else wants to share anything about this activity? All right. I hope everybody had fun. It was medium, could be, but everybody I hope had fun. Was it, everybody had fun? Yes, no? Okay, no to this, everybody saying yes. Thank you so much. All right. I will take a couple of questions. I can take one or two questions, and then we'll do one last cool down activity. All right. So because there are no questions, I want everybody to do one small cool down activity. Okay, because everybody has done a lot of work, right? So I want everybody to just stand up now. Keep all the stuff. Keep all the stuff. Niche, you can just stand up. I'm also trying to stand up here. Okay. Okay. First thing that we'll do is shake off. Just shake your hands. Just shake. Yes, very good. I can see people doing this. Shake, move your head, shoulders, shake. Yeah. Fingers also shake. Now do it with the legs also shake. Can you move your toes like this? Okay. What else can you shake? Can you shake your chest? Yes. What we'll do now is we will inhale with our hands open like this. Inhale. So let's inhale once, everybody. Inhale. We exhale with a sound. Okay? Exhale. We'll do this one more time. Inhale. Everybody move your hands up and inhale. And exhale. One last time. Inhale and exhale. Okay. Now I want everybody to take one hand, put it on your back. However, हाँ ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं, ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. 2 बार अब हम उसको पैट करेंगे. ठीक है. This is for yourself. Everybody is been sitting and doing so much of work, studying so much. This is pat on the back that everybody is doing an amazing job. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me for the session. I am glad that everybody enjoyed and participated. So this pat on the back is for you. Great work, everybody. I also wish you all the best for your other day of the conference. And you've been working so hard. It's been a long journey. So I hope everybody enjoyed the entire process. You can now sit down and be calm. I can see people are still stretching. Everybody got a chance. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. And I hope everybody had fun.
Thank you, Rashmi. The participant question, I had enough time to take our virtual participation, our patient, any more methods, any that you want Rashmi to discuss, we can do that now.
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. So what I will tell you is a couple of, so let's talk about these 4 things. I can discuss one activity each. Okay, so when we talk about movement, we are talking about giving them safe space to dance, because some dance or move around very freely. Somebody was also asking me that if there is very less time, what do we do, right? So before you start teaching, you come in the class. If you just ask them to get out and just move around a little, you can ask them to follow instructions, you can ask them to move around. So any form of movement before you start the class could be very useful to channelize their energy. You can do that for 2 minutes also in the classroom before you start teaching. If you could just make the class move together in any possible way, you can ask them to step out of their chairs, do a couple of activities. It could be stretching, it could be jumping on the spot, it could be doing a circle. But you just have to remember that if you're doing one activity that puts them high, the other activity has to also cool down. For example, if you ask them to jump at a spot for 10 seconds and move around, towards the end, you also have to ask them to sit and breathe. That is how you will channelize the energy. We want to channelize the energy. We don't want to put them in the hyperactive mode and then start learning. So we use a couple of their physical agitation for 2 minutes, 2 minutes of physical agitation for channelizing, and then followed by 1 minute of cool down. So your cool down could be any mindful activity. You put your arms on the belly and then you breathe. You do the star breathing, or you do the breathe in, breathe out. So when you talk about movement, one high energy for 1 to 2 minutes followed up by one cool down. That is one activity that you can do, a very small thing. Another thing that you can do is the mindful listening that we talked about in the class. In the class, you can play a music and you want them to focus on one thing. After that, you can ask them to draw what they were imagining when they were listening to the music. So this is active listening followed by a drawing activity. Another small thing that I do with a lot of parents, teenagers, is storytelling. These are people who don't know how to express. They are not okay expressing. Draw out any one thing about your day that you liked. It's called a drawing journal. Draw how you felt in the evening today. Draw how was your metro journey to the school or bus journey to the school. So you are getting them used to the idea of storytelling, idea of narrating their emotions. This is also a very small thing that can be done. Last activity, another example, last would be positive visualization. You can ask them to draw about something that really calms them down. It could be people, it could be setting, it could be smell, touch, any senses plus people or setting. And this could be their calm space, their safe space. So these are a couple of small activities that you can do. I understand art activities do require a longer duration because you have to let the person express, and expression usually takes time. And because it is, why is it therapeutic? Because it takes time. You cannot do anything for those 10-15 minutes, right? But you can also give them follow-up activities. You can do movement or small journal writing activities if you want to be a smaller, if you want it to be a smaller activity. So these are a couple of things that you can try.
So Rashmi, how are we doing? Other participants having no other questions, no queries? You've talked about a lot of things which I am sure are going to come in very handy for the teachers in their classrooms, in their pedagogy, and also a good understanding has been built upon alternative therapies, which they have experienced firsthand by doing the activities that you've so wonderfully done. And they can do it at a personal level. They can approach an expert like you to help them sort out things for their mental health and well-being. So I am so very thankful to you for taking out time and having such a nice, energetic, well-equipped session. And the full on the message box also, please do take a look at them. Thank you once again for being with us and sharing with our participants the good, lesser known practices for mental health and well-being. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, everybody. I had fun, and I hope everybody also had fun. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Rashmi, for that very interesting session. And I would also like to thank Ruchi Shukla for sharing this particular session. Thank you, Dr. Ruchi. And now we will have a break. All right, because since morning, right from 9:30, you are not able to move from your seat. So for now, we will take a half an hour break. After that, we come back with the new session. All right, Ruchi, we are taking a break.
Thank you, Vasant ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll see each other in half an hour's time.